Where did we go? Oh, there we are. We are now live. Hey, back live again. Hey, this is Cousin Vinny with the Cousin Vinny Network here at the Crystal River Mall in the Citrus Executive Hub podcasting studios. And boy, have we got some really interesting information. Now, here's something for you too. If you're watching and listening, call us at 888-738-7381 and would love to take your questions if you got a particular question that you'd like answered about the mall itself. So Millie, let's go through some of the things you and I had talked about earlier.
Well, I thought today we'd talk about just the general state of malls and a little bit about the reuse of them. We're all reading and we all know the decline that's happened over the past many years.
Yeah.
But right now, today, there's about 1,000 malls in the United States, and they're projected to a quarter of them will be closed by 2022.
Wow. So, 250.
Yep.
Wow.
And a lot of that has to do with the big boxes. The malls, the way the malls made it was having the big box stores. That's what attracted the other stores to be in there.
Right.
Pretty much all of that big retail is going away, downsizing, going online, going bankrupt. So it's really the demise that's what's killing the malls.
Yeah, I mean, you could have seen that on the wall, on the writing on the wall when the Amazons of the world were just dominating the at-home delivery, the convenience of well, I don't have to get up and go get it, and it's cheap.
Yeah, and we still had, they'll tell you that still a lot of people like to go out. People like to be social, and ordering on Amazon is all very convenient, and it comes to your door and you can return it. But you're not out amongst people. You're not walking around in a store environment. You don't get to touch and feel things. So that's really part of the problem. Is you've got this juxtaposition where people want to go out, they want to see it, but they're not spending money in them like they used to.
Right.
The other end of that is they're not using the store credit cards like they used to.
Right.
That was a 90s thing.
Right. I mean, that whole personal feel and touch of going into a mall, trying on different clothes or looking at the different, when you go online, you have, 4 or 5 choices, you pick one and you're done and move on. Yeah. The whole mall experience is going to change. And you and I both know
it is. And that's what we're looking at here at the Crystal River Mall. We're not only looking at change, but we're looking at how to merge retail and entertainment and restaurants. How do you merge that all together and how do you make it work? Along with office environments, which would bring people in.
Right.
This is all good stuff. And we have a beautiful facility here. Although it's dated, if we pull it up, we'll be able to, make the adjustments on the datedness. It's all about making, being able to make the income to be able to make those changes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a transition and we're fortunate that, we're not in some of those other cities, the real big cities where they have 2 or 3 of them and they're all fighting for those dollars really hard and heavy. And they're some are getting just pushed out, even though they're nice, clean, modern facilities. It's hard to compete for those dollars. And then with all the things that we've been going through the last 2 or 3 months really is added to the calamity that's going on out there.
Yeah, but we still have needs. I mean, people are still going to Walmart. They're still shopping. So it's just finding the right balance for this environment here. And that's really what we're truly working on.
Right.
I have many leasing opportunities and a lot of people are calling in and I've been showing spaces. So I think a lot of people realize in the next few years, the changes that are going to occur here in Crystal River, we will benefit from. A lot of people are thinking in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is we don't have a lot of the competition. Like if you were in a Clearwater, St. Pete, where you have multiple shopping plazas or malls there, where they're all competing for those individual merchants. Here, it's kind of unique. And with the shift in the demographics, older population here, again, you're doing the transitioning that a lot of other places have not even embraced yet. And I can see that in the last year or so, that we've been working on this project here, to revitalize the mall. And we understand retail is not retail anymore like it used to be. The big brands, what was it today? We were just talking about who was Penny's is pretty much done. What was the
Yeah.
other one we were talking about earlier?
Well,
Something
J.C. Penney's was in credit trouble when they left here.
right,
They have been on the downslide for quite a while. So that's that's just the way it is with that large retail.
right,
If those stores go out, then the other stores go out also.
right,
That's kind of what we're not in that. Now we're taking a look at those big boxes and what can we do to reuse those big boxes?
right.
You put in, do you put in housing? Do you put in, all kinds of things that you can do with 50,000 square feet or 63,000 square feet? Do you put in a hotel, conference center? Do you put in some light industrial? There's all kinds of options.
Right. I mean, you've got the box built, and the biggest cost involved in construction is, site acquisition, then going to the planning and the permitting, the building process. You're a year and a half, maybe 2 years out. This, you've already got the infrastructure in. All someone's got to have is some vision and say, geez, I see this space. What's the best utilization of it?
Right.
And you and I have been talking about this, for the last year or so, that, the community here has shifted from a retirement, and it's still retirement, but tourism is majorly large here in this area because of the manatees. And capitalizing on that thrust of those tourist dollars coming here. I don't remember what the numbers were as far as average night stayed here, but maybe one night, maybe two, and then they leave. But if there was some other things to attract, they would probably stay an extra night or book an extra night being here if there were other things to do. And you and I talked about, like, for instance, the Belks on the front of the mall.
Right.
That would be an ideal extended stay type of a hotel scenario.
Oh,
Someone comes in with their family. They want to spend 3-4 days. They want to do the kayaking, the manatees. They want to do the bike trails. That leads to that type of an opportunity where most of the infrastructure is in there. Basically, they just take it to the ground and just start a brand new building and not have to, go through a lot of expense and put up a really nice hotel that would, suit that type of clientele. And if they were really, really smart, they'd take that top floor. And I think, didn't we have a drone one time go up and shoot some pictures?
Oh, yeah. No, it's great. You get up there, you can see the bay. You can see.
Yeah, you go up 3-4 stories. They put a rooftop restaurant out there with a nice,
Yeah.
especially now with social distancing, a nice outdoor, cabaret type restaurant out there. Again, this takes foresight, and unfortunately, there are a lot of people, who sometimes, kind of miss it.
Right.
What was this? I would be cool to have some kind of a festival at the mall. Yeah. Thank you, Tanya. Yeah, Laura. Yeah, I mean, those are some of the things that we'd like to see. People's ideas.
Right. And so, and that's part of what's happening here. You have Dave Perry that's putting in phase by phase. He's putting in an entertainment center, a family entertainment, and that's what we're looking at, is building on that, building on the restaurants, putting in restaurants,
Right.
And then we have office space. So we have room for businesses to come in.
Yeah, and we talked about it briefly.
Lots of opportunities.
I mean, we talked about it briefly the other day too, is that if you have a strip center and you have an office or a building in there and someone's going by at 40 miles an hour, they're not going to see your sign. Here, at least, becomes a destination where they say, geez, and the things that you're trying to do here complement each other. You're not putting in things that wouldn't complement, and we've been interviewing each of the different merchants here regularly to kind of showcase the types of products and services that are going on here.
Right.
And we did also briefly talk about, your pricing. I mean,
we're pricing per square foot is very competitive.
Yeah.
The difference here is you have a community environment. People aren't just going to come in to see you. They're going to come in to walk around and see and eat and do some other things while they're here. They just come to you. Once establish that. We do have personal services where people do just come in to get their nails or have a massage. So it has, we have that ability as well.
Right.
Our pricing is competitive. We're the same rates as our neighbors down the road. So we're not any higher, and there's no huge CAMs, common area maintenance fees. A lot of people are afraid of malls because
Right.
you're being priced out for everything, and we're not. So I'd be happy to talk to anybody about it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So just curious, what is the pricing for a small kiosk? Oh, there's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
And Laura,
Yeah.
Lori,
Yeah.
is it Lauren? Yeah,
Laura.
Lauren, why don't you give Millie a call
Yeah.
at 352-795-2585. It's scrolling on the bottom. So just give Millie a call and kind of set up a time to come by and do a little tour and see what works for you. But she does have some kiosks available.
Right.
And
I
again,
do.
the phone number is scrolling on there. I'm sorry. Stepped on that one time. Sorry, Millie.
That's okay. So let's talk about what else we have here.
Yeah.
We developed a year ago the Citrus Executive Hub, which is business offices that can be used by anybody by appointment. They can schedule times to use them by the hour, by the day, by the week, by the month. They are fully furnished, and these offices, and they have conference ability. They have Wi-Fi. They have all the, the equipment that they need. All they do is bring in their computer and their cell phone, and they're ready to go.
Right.
So it's pretty neat situation. And what's nice about it is we have a meeting conference room adjacent to us that they can seat up to 30 or 40 people in for if they wanted to do some kind of training.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the Citrus Executive Hub is basically time sharing an office. In my past experiences of having to rent an office, it's all yours, and you paid the rent whether you were there or not, and utilities whether you were there or not. And the beauty of this is, if you've been working from home for the last 3 or 4 months and you're about to wit's end and you need to get out, we also have the hub, which is basically some nice comfortable tables and chairs. You can come in, bring in your computer, for $20 for the day, plug into the internet, have a cup of coffee, do some networking. And that's the big ingredient that we have here, is that you have that ability to come in and sit and meet other people and maybe, collaborate on a project together. But, the hub concept started about 6 years ago. And by doing this here, again, from a small business person or someone who's been sitting at home now the last 3 months going, I really don't want to go to that dead end job. I want to start my own business. Great place to get started. Like Millie says, other space in the mall that as demand increased, it can be, fitted out.
We can utilize his office space as well. I have some others that are already designated for that. So we have plenty of room. And Vinny, as you know, we've had people from around the country.
Yes.
Take advantage of our office space. They've gone to citrusexecutivehub.com and they have found out all about it, and they've reserved space.
Yeah.
So we've met some really great people.
Yeah, that gentleman, I can't think of his name. He's a friend of mine on Facebook. He was the one of the first guys I interviewed here on the podcast, and he enjoyed it. It was a great facility because he was working here while he was in town.
Yeah, and it's cool. They have a space. I mean, it's a office. It's a small office, and it's fully decked out with chairs and desks and the whole thing, and it's lockable. So if you're here for a month, you can leave stuff in there, and you have your own key and your own combination to the door. Right. So we've tried to do everything we can think of. It's a very comfortable setting. Plus, you have the ability to have the food court.
Yeah.
They don't run lunch to you, so it's
they have
pretty neat. So
and also you have the ability. We also have the podcast studio in here. So and we've had a couple of tenants where we've done interviews, and that's what we're doing today, is talking about what the aspects of the mall is here, what it can do for you today.
All kinds of potential, and we're open for suggestions. I get 1 or 2 suggestions a week for people, and from them, and a lot of the stuff has been thought about, but there's we're open for discussion. And one thing that we might talk about also just a little bit.
Yeah.
We're considering a name change. So,
Yes.
and that's something that the community would pretty much probably have to buy into.
Yeah.
So, see, they'll have to be, work with us on changing the name.
Yeah.
But it's that potential is there. So as we move forward with new projects, that's probably highly something that we'll do.
Right. Oh, look who's on there. Mark said hello. Come join us.
Yep.
Mark is with the store's name.
Highly favored antiques and collectibles.
Yeah, we did a preview on him a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, stop in and see him.
Yep. We have some really unique places in here and lots of fun things to do. Yes. And New China Max. New China Mix is wonderful. That's Kim. Kim has been here for years. So she was in a couple of different locations, and her and her husband are very hardworking people, and their food is fresh.
Yep.
So,
yep. Hey Millie, how do you like this new?
I like the idea of the messages coming up. That's pretty.
Yeah. Again, we've been going through a learning process of getting to this point, and this is really cool. I like it. Yeah, fantastic part of the state. Yeah, you're right, Don.
Yeah,
we do live in a fantastic part of the state.
Yeah, true.
We just got to get the message out there that we are alive and well.
So, Vinny, I'm going to sign off. I thank you for the opportunity of talking today, and I think we need to continue these conversations to let people know what's going on.
Yeah.
Got somebody waiting for me right now. So
okay. Yeah. Well, you got to bring in those tenants. That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Millie.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, that was exciting. That was fun. We've added a few more new elements to our video podcasting. And if my voice is maybe a little bit out of sync, I didn't sync something correctly again, as I usually do. So again, to sum it up, Citrus Executive Hub. I mean, super duper concept, from working in different places as I have in the past, having a place to work from on a daily basis, get you out of the house, excuse me, and gives you the ability to do some mingling, networking. So come by for a personal tour of the hub so that you can see everything that's going on here. If you're looking to do meetings or events or training, there's a facility here with all of the state-of-the-art equipment. We've got TVs. You can plug in and start a presentation up. And if you want to have food and beverages, the food court is there. I mean, there's no place else like this in this entire region. Millie was fortunate enough to be able to put all the pieces together to make this work well. And again, there's plenty of room for expansion and growth. Again, there have been a lot of rumors and suspicions about the mall. You know what? It's here. We're probably in a better position than most around the country. We're not that big. It is well suited for our environment. So anyway, I just want to say thank you for watching. Ooh, bad English. Thank you for watching and listening. And we'll be back again with another edition of the Crystal River Mall update with another fine merchant here. And thanks for watching the Cousin Vinny Network.